So, as you saw by the title of the video, I'll be reviewing slash ranking the top 10 movies, in my opinion, of 2022. And I just don't want to waste any time, so let's get straight into it. So, at number 10, I have The Northman. The reason why I thought this movie was so important to put in the top 10 is just it's like a breath of fresh air because this genre of movies isn't really like done anymore. The last instance I can really think of is like Braveheart, with the time period and the setting and everything. And I also liked how there was really no like hero of the movie. I would think that like Omelette is really not the hero. He's kind of like the villain because at the end he kills his whole like his mom and like the kids and the dad and everything. Yeah, so really no one was like that, not pure of heart, but no one was good. Um, yeah, and this movie just really was like, it was good to see this kind of movie be so popular again. And it was definitely a risk because, yeah, again, the last time I can think of a type of movie like this is The Last Duel, and that one was like controversial, but this one I honestly think many people enjoyed. And if you like that type of genre, like Braveheart or like Gladiator or whatever, like historical type of movies, then yeah, this would definitely be a good fit. Next up at number 9 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This may be a little controversial to have at number 9 and above The Northman, but yeah, I honestly thought this was the best Marvel movie of the year, and that's not really saying much. Marvel was very bad this year. Um, Thor: Love and Thunder sucked, and I don't even care about the new Black Panther. But yeah, this one wasn't really that bad. I do like Ted Raimi as a director. I really think that like Ted Raimi has made some really good pieces of movies. The old Spider-Man I love. Uh, yeah, and I also like how Marvel was kind of like in the scarier horror aspect this time, and the visuals were amazing. Like the different realities was very good. The CGI was really good too. Um, there's definitely complaints like the villain being Wanda. I thought that was just kind of crappy. The plot was like the most simple thing ever. Um, yeah, it was just like I don't know. It was visually pleasing, but like the plot was really bad. Story writing just didn't really matter to me, and yeah, but still, nonetheless, it was enjoyable. Um, would I rewatch it? Maybe, maybe in a year's time when I forget about the movie, but it's not something that I'd really care to watch the next month. Um, yeah, there you go. At number 8, I have The Black Phone, and it's probably my favorite horror movie of the year. And I just think that Ethan Hawke played the grabber so well, and that the like 70s atmosphere was just really well done. There's nothing really too much I can complain about this movie. Uh, I really didn't know anything about it until like the day after it came out, and yeah, so it was just something different that I haven't really seen before, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. At number 7 is Glass Onion, a Knives Out story, and I really didn't know this movie was coming out, but as soon as I heard that it was the sequel to Knives Out, or at least was like in the same universe, whatever, um, I instantly just wanted to go see it, and I wasn't let down. It was actually really good. Um, Detective Blanc was like the only familiar face, and again, he was just like really witty, and Daniel Craig just played him like very well. And all the like new faces were very good as well. Dave Batista, I think that's how you say his last name. He was in this as well, and I just love his characters. Yeah. Nothing too much to say about it. It wasn't as good as Knives Out, but and you can watch my video on it that I explained, but yeah, I just really thought that it was one of the big surprises of the year. At 6, I had Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This was like more like a kids movie slash family movie, but I still really enjoyed it. It's just like good-hearted fun, and I did like it more than the first one. Idris Elba as Knuckles was probably just the best part of the whole entire movie. Jim Carrey's Dr. Eggman was also enjoyable as well. And this is like a movie that like a lot of kids, even some adults would enjoy, that were fans of Sonic. And this is probably like one of the best video game to, movie adaptations. It's probably going to be better than the Mario movie. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really have anything horrible to say about this. And yep. Now we are getting into the top 5 contenders of best movies of the year. And at 5, I have Black Adam. I didn't review this movie. There's kind of a reason why. It's kind of just exactly how I expected it to be, like mindless fun, a lot of good action. The plot being like mediocre, and the villain not really being Black Adam and just like some other mediocre villain, which is exactly kind of how it was. But nonetheless, it was still a good movie. The only like downside to this movie was that the villain was just like kind of came out of nowhere and was like just not very interesting. The Justice Society was very good, like with Hawkman and Dr. Fate. I thought that they were both amazing. Finally getting to see Dr. Fate in a movie was really cool. And yeah, I guess this was like a solid introduction for Black Adam. I do think that Shazam and Black Adam, I think, are in the third Shazam movie, and I think that'll be like much better than this movie. But as a whole, this movie wasn't horrible. DC has been doing pretty well recently, and yeah, I just thought this movie was just very fun to watch. At number 4, I have Avatar: The Way of Water, and this was like one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and it like sort of delivered, sort of. The plot again was just like it was kind of simple, and honestly it was probably more simple than the first one. I still think that the first Avatar back in 2009 was better than this one. I do think that the visuals were just amazing. They always are. So this is just like follows Jake Sully again. And I was like really confused on how they would get like a villain for this, but the way that they introduced the Colonel as being an avatar this time and not like a human, I actually kind of like that, and how he's different from like his human self, like his avatar self is actually like kind of a different person. There's nothing really horrible about this movie. The thing is, it's just like the direction of the movie changes like throughout the movie, and it goes from like being good to like boring and like just having nothing to do with anything. Like in the middle of the movie, there's a good like chunk of it, like 45 minutes, that has to do like with whales and stuff, which was like the most boring and like out of place thing. It really did nothing for anything. There's like no plot reason for it either or anything like that. And then it was trying to make up for that at the end. Like it was trying to it was slowly getting better and better towards the end, and the ending was actually really good. I really liked the ending. But if it kind of like just fell flat, like at the end, it like was trying to make a comeback, but just failed at the end. But again, this movie was, just, it was a decent sequel. I was really hoping for it to be better, because I do think the first one is kind of overrated, but I do like it. Yeah, I don't know, but that's about it. Okay, now we are getting into the top 3 movies of the year, and at number 3, I have Bullet Train. This movie is just, it's so good. I did see the previews in theaters for it, and I thought, this looks like garbage, I'm probably not going to watch it. But, oh, was I wrong? It's so good. Brad Pitt is just so, he's just, I don't know, he's kind of like Ryan Reynolds. He can just play himself, honestly. He's just so good in this. Tangerine and Lemon are like an amazing duo, probably one of the best duos I've seen in a movie in a while. And just all the action is just amazing. And Brad Pitt's interaction with everybody on the train that's like trying to kill him or like, just it's so good. There's really nothing to complain about. This movie was just like so enjoyable and funny and yeah. Okay, so at number two, surprise, surprise, I have Top Gun Maverick. This was just such an enjoyable movie. I think any person at any age would just enjoy this movie. There was really like nothing wrong with this. This was like a perfect sequel, and I honestly do think it was better than the first one. Um, I especially like the new characters, like Miles Teller, who I believe played someone called Rooster, the son of Goose, um, and like the relationship that he has with Pete Maverick Mitchell. Like he kind of blames him for his dad's death and like doesn't really like him at all. Also, the character Hangman was really enjoyable, and all the action I heard that it was like pretty much all real and no CGI, which is like amazing because everything's CGI now and practical effects just make everything look so much better. And yeah, the storyline was just so good too, with them having to like drop bombs into I think a bunker or something of like these enemies. It was just and the ending was amazing too. This is just like a feel good movie that like definitely would get your spirits up and make you happy and yeah. And at number one for my favorite movie of the year is honestly hands down The Batman. I thought this movie was perfect. I thought it was great. I honestly, this is like one of my favorite movies ever. And I think that this was like the best Batman movie ever. Robert Pattinson he just nails it as like this dark, broody Batman that just really doesn't care about anything, and that's like depressed and everything. And the Riddler is just like he's probably like one of the best villains I've seen in a while. The casting is perfect. I thought that Catwoman was like a really good side character as well. She was probably my favorite Catwoman out of all the other movies. It was just the Gotham is just the setting for Gotham is just amazing. The fact that it's like less action and more like mystery crime solving, like how Batman is in the comics, is amazing. There's just so much great things about this movie. DC really is just like on fire recently. Yeah, this movie it's long, but and there are scenes where it can get like I guess boring to people, but I was never bored. I've watched this movie probably about like 3 times. It's just amazing. I love it. The soundtrack to it is amazing, and that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, and goodbye.